So I know several of you have asked how to travel without breaking the bank. And honestly, this is not something that I even really thought about before someone asked it. I always try to save money when we travel, but it's not really something that I really thoroughly considered until you guys asked. And then I started thinking about all the different ways that Jeremy and I try to travel and save money. Number one is we always try to camp where we go. We have not been very successful with this because the weather has been terrible, the places that we have decided to go, and not really camping weather per se. But we always try to go to KOAs, and that's just my personal place that I like to go because they're always nice. They always have nice showers, and I'm a big person about showering. But you can definitely go to some of the state parks and some of the national parks, and they will definitely be cheaper, but you can even camp in some of them for free. I do know that. Well, with KOA, which is the ones we normally go to, there's a rewards program that I have joined. I can't remember how much it is a year, but you get 10% off each visit, and you also gather points, and once you get so many points, then you can get a free stay, which is always nice. The second thing is if you can't camp, I would recommend doing choice hotels. And the reason we do choice hotels personally is because Farm Bureau has a deal, which we have insurance through Farm Bureau, and you get 20% off the choice hotels, which is always nice. And there you can also gather rewards and get free night stays. The good thing about hotels too is you pay a little more, but you get a free breakfast. So always try to stay at a hotel that offers a free breakfast because that's going to save you money in the long run too. Another good thing to note is try to stay out of the city that you're traveling to and commute in. My biggest example of this is especially up north. So we went to DC and we stayed in Virginia with Jeremy's aunt. But I would definitely still recommend staying in Virginia or in Maryland and traveling into DC through the metro because it's really cheaper than trying to stay inside DC itself. Also, New York. New York is super expensive. My best advice is to stay in New Jersey and just ride the train into New York. I think we paid $16 round trip for a train ticket from New Jersey to New York. And it only took like an hour to ride the train into New York, so really it was totally worth it. When we go to beaches, we normally rent bicycles and we just ride the bicycles around. Especially Hilton Head and Key West are the ones that we definitely got bicycles and rode around. But if you don't stay right on the beach, then you're probably going to save a lot of money. Another thing that we like to say too is we always try to check on stuff later rather than sooner, because sometimes the sooner you try to plan your vacation, the more expensive that it's going to be. I always try to look for free cancellations because that way if I do find a cheaper deal, then I can cancel it and rebook it. Booking.com is really good for checking on free cancellations. And I have booked several things on Booking.com and canceled and rebooked because something's been cheaper. Another good thing to always know is you want to travel in off-season. Like, don't go in the middle of June or July or even August really, because normally those times are really busy and they're also really expensive. So make sure that you look to see like wherever you're going, like what their off season is, and try to travel in that off season. I know, for example, like Florida, like Disney and stuff like that, I always want to try to go in the winter time, like January, February, because it's not going to be as busy as it would be in the summertime. We always like to go on vacation in September after Labor Day because it's also cheaper after Labor Day as well. We always take road trips. We don't really fly, but on road trips you definitely want to take snacks and stuff for you to eat, because you're gonna spend a whole lot less money buying the snacks than you are actually buying food out. If you're staying in one place, which Jeremy and I don't really do that often, if you're staying in one place, then you definitely want to try to cook, especially for dinner. That way you save some money doing that as well. If you're gonna go out to eat, my best advice for that is to go for lunch, because lunch deals are always cheaper and you will have leftovers for dinner. And normally most hotels or places you stay have a microwave, so you can just heat it up. I guess my best advice that I could probably give anyone for flying, now granted this is by word of mouth, this isn't actually personal experience, because Jeremy and I have never flown together. The only time I've flown is to Orlando, and that was when I was a child. So, but this is just from what I've heard. Check on Allegiant Air. Allegiant Air has a lot of nonstop flights to just different places, and they're really cheap. I know we were looking at flights to Orlando, and it was like $49 to fly to Orlando, which is pretty cheap. Also, I've heard that if you schedule flights on Tuesdays versus going out on Monday, that they're cheaper going out on Tuesdays. Now that I'm not really sure, I don't really know. Again, this is just by what I've heard from people. And the last thing that I can really recommend is make sure you visit national parks, state parks, museums. A lot of the times the state parks and the museums are free. National parks can get expensive, but the best thing to do with national parks is buy the annual pass. It's $80 for an annual pass, and it can get 4 people in a car to any of the national parks. So you can go to as many as you want. I think I calculated with me and Jeremy that has saved us so much money. How much? I want to say it's around like $150 that it saved us, because you know, Great Smoky Mountains National Park is free, but you go out west, you go to different places in Florida, stuff like that, you actually have to pay to get into the national parks. So they can be like $30 to $40 a carload. So just make sure to visit those and definitely buy the pass. And I think that's it, guys. Please let me know in the comments below if you've learned something from this, or if you have any questions. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like my videos. Bye, guys.